Hey, channel surfers. It's been a hell of a week and it's only Tuesday. In fact, I finished taking my notes and Dee and I went to start recording and my very, very helpful cleaning lady showed up. That was probably the most blessed part of my week. And when I came back to my notes, right in the middle of the sentence, "You're trying to destroy us," pages of sixes popped up in the middle of the sentence. You can see it right here. Why? And then like pages of sixes. No idea. No idea where they came from. But a little bit, I don't know, creepy that they showed up in the sentence, "You're trying to destroy everything."
It's crazy.
Say la fucking V. 90 Day, The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 14, Gutted, which, that's English, y'all. Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the hosts, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
Well, channel surfers, welcome to Remote Reality. I am Lauren, your attorney friend who loves to overanalyze everything, including our favorite reality TV shows.
And this is Dee, her reluctant sidekick.
We're
And
reluctant
paralegal.
again today.
Well, you know, I was in a better mood
welcome
yesterday, maybe.
What happened between Monday and Tuesday? Monday?
It became, Monday. And we had so many studio issues last night. It was taking forever for videos to export. And I got
Things were
really
great, and then I paid for like a year of that studio, like one of the top plans, and it anyway 6666666. Let's start with the deepest pits of Dante's hell, Greta and Matthew. Let's
What
just
in the-
knock it out of the way.
What in the world? Oh my goodness.
I don't think I love you anymore. Okay, so the kids thing didn't scare him off. Like,
Mm-mm.
nothing she's doing is scaring him off. Might as well just pull the whole rug out and say, "I don't love you."
His face, I felt so bad for him. And he was trying so hard with her. You know, is it the film crew? She's like, no.
And just slap his stupid face.
Why?
Get a grip, Matthew. This woman is tossing you in the trash. Just leave. Burn the damn dumpster with you. Why are you trying to salvage this? Let her go. Block her. He's sitting there saying these things that it's like, I'm going to keep Matthew holding on. I think I don't love you. This might be a bad decision, but I have to make it. Well, you know what? Let her make it. Let her walk out that door. Don't let the door hit you on the ass in the way out. And don't talk to her. She's going to snap out of it and realize, oops, I guess I can't just treat him like trash all the time. He'll eventually leave. And by then it will be too late and you will have moved on with your life. This is pathetic. I feel bad for him, but just like, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
I completely understand where you're coming from. I think he was completely taken off guard. He did not see this coming. And I think a lot of his reactions were just shock.
It's been 3 to 4 days. He is folding like a piece of paper in any direction her wind blows. You don't want kids? I'll be triple the father. We don't have to have kids. Like, changing all of his life plans for this person who's sitting you down with you and telling you, I don't know if I love you anymore. And even if I did know I love you, I've got to figure out my own stuff because I'm a total dumpster fire. Let her burn.
Yeah. It's our typical reaction to stuff. If someone told me they didn't love me, I'd be like, see you fucking later.
See, you wouldn't want to be ya.
Mm-hmm.
It's just excuse after excuse. She's just throwing the kitchen sink and seeing what sticks. I tried for 6 months and I thought I would love you. So you came all the way. I wonder if they broke up before filming started.
That's a good
Because
theory.
why would you come over? Like, maybe it's too complicated to make all those arrangements for your cat. So you're just going to leave it there with some friends. You know, you're coming back in a few weeks. But when he looks at her and says, Greta, What do we do now? Block her. Block her is the answer. Also, don't ask her. Why do we care what she has to say? She needs to process things. I feel bad for Greta, too. I feel bad for both of them. I think Greta is just so hurt and has not dealt with her past.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that she'll ever find happiness. She's too afraid to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You even mentioned this. You said Matthew points out Greta was always chasing, and I think that roller coaster just ended.
Yeah, he said she was always chasing thrills, and I think the roller coaster ride is over. So once it gets basically boring or, just normal every day, she can't deal with it.
When it gets too real.
Yeah.
Then it gets too unrequited. Then it gets too much like your mom loving you and dying.
Right. When you're going back and forth from one country to another to visit and see him, it's all, this adventure and stuff. And now that she's been there for a while,
it's also
getting
all
more
of
real.
This distance where she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be super attached, seeing him day in and day out. When you lose somebody that you've got your own life in the States, your own friends, your own cat going on, you're studying for the bar exam, she might in her head be able to do what she's doing right now, which is convinced herself she never loved him when it's time to lose him. But now that it's day to day, they're talking about kids, they're looking at apartments together and houses. She's got more to lose.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's sad. It's sad for both of them. But dang it, Matthew, I wouldn't deal with it. Want to know what it was like to date me? Bye. When it was over, it was over. And he was making a lot of sense. He was saying, a relationship, it's not 50-50. It's not 70-30. Sometimes it's 90-10. Yeah, sometimes it's 90-10. But the other person has to be giving the 10%, not giving 0 and running the other way.
Right. Well, and so I completely took that differently because I was like, sometimes you love them 50% of the time, sometimes 100%, sometimes 90%, sometimes 10%, sometimes 1%.
Okay, that's true. Sometimes 0%. Okay, that's true. I was taking that as maybe the editing had mixed things up because right after that, she talks about the last 6 months and how she felt like she wasn't giving him what he deserved. Again, I wonder if this was studying for the bar exam, which a lot of relationships don't make it through law school or the bar. I mean, I went into law school with a boyfriend, but he had slept with my best friend and I found out midway through the first year. Yeah.
Shit.
When he broke up with me, he was like, "Oh, I remember what happened that night."
Well,
so that was crazy. And then
there was another one that didn't make it through his bar exam. Well, yeah, it made it through his bar exam, but it was like right after his bar exam.
No. We broke up right before. He took the bar the first time and failed it. And then we broke up right before his second bar.
So you had another relationship that didn't make it through his bar exam.
Poor D. She was working with the two of us.
That was entertaining.
Like, actually, I was Lauren's favorite.
Yeah, I know. I was going home. I would walk outside. What the fuck just happened?
I'm smarter than that other attorney in there. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. You showed his ass big time because you were like, I want both of you.
Like, it is a nightmare to date Lauren. Good thing she's married and off the table, but God bless her husband. 66666. She probably put that in there. Greta and Matthew, she killed him. He's dead inside. R.I.P. Matthew. He's popping up daisies. And
I also think Matthew is the one that this episode is titled after. It made sense. She gutted him.
She did gut him. But I think we could apply this probably in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about that as we talk about the couples. So that's all I've got for Greta and Matthew.
Okay. Blocker. Yeah.
I want to see her spiral after she blocks because she thinks he is just going to be sitting there like he always does, ready to please her. But I promise you, once he turns that table and she realizes I don't have him on a leash, boom, it's going to click and she's going to regret
him back. Him and his little Harry Potter face.
I wonder if the hair matches the drapes.
Shit. Why you always got to go there?
I don't know. What's wrong with me?
I don't know. Check your blood sugar.
I'm actually asking myself a lot during this episode. But we'll get there. Chloe and Johnny. So related to Chloe at the beginning of this when she is freaking out, like, is that a dog? Is that a dog? Is that a dead dog in the road? Johnny is like, no, it's a coconut leaf. Chill out.
Thank goodness.
That was scary.
Yeah.
So this immigration lawyer, do you notice the tray of alcohol he has behind Johnny?
Girl, did we not have a filing cabinet full of alcohol in your office?
Do we not have a Johnny that drank half a bottle in one day before
I
he
know.
quit?
Yes.
We love
Yes,
you, Johnny.
we do.
We loved him. We loved him so much. I knew that was a hard decision. Lawyer that used to work with us, and he was moving away for his wife's job. And I knew he was so sad to leave us. We were so sad for him to leave. But we didn't. We had it in the cabinet. We didn't pull it out in front of the clients.
It was hidden like behind closed doors.
Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you have one of those days. Now we just podcast about other stuff to
And drink it while we're podcasting.
Exactly. So they're finally going to see the immigration attorney. As they're walking in, Chloe is like playing with a cactus, and Johnny has to say, no, Chloe, don't touch that. It seemed very much like a father telling his little girl, don't play with the cactus.
It was huge too. Like it was taller than her. I think it was taller than him.
It was.
Maybe it's got poisonous thorns on it or something.
Bunch of little pricks. She's
Yeah.
used to them.
No, he's not
So-
a prick.
That little.
Oh, you meant, I was thinking about calling somebody a prick, and you're talking about the literal prick.
Penises. All right.
Yeah,
So
gotcha.
we're going to go talk to this immigration lawyer, and they're going to talk about the difference between the domestic partnership and marriage. So the immigration lawyer says you need to be established first, living here, either marriage or domestic partnership, and then find an employer that will kind of fall in line. Once you're here, you will have an employer, it will fall in line. So the two ways that we could do this. One, we could look at marriage. You pay the fees to go down to the courthouse, I don't know, $25, $50 or something, and automatically you're in. And within 2 to 3 months of you having that legal visa to be here as a spouse, then you can get a job. So he's saying 7, 8. I'm sitting here in my head going 6, 7. Because I have a child that says 6, 7 all the time. And then later on we hear Chloe and Johnny talking about it, and they said 8 to 9 months. So really, that's a pretty fast track.
Mhm.
You guys have seen 90 Day Fiancé, obviously. And, it takes years sometimes for us to get even like fiancé visas approved. So that seems relatively quick to have a work visa in 7 to 8 to 9 months. The other option, so the marriage, you get married 2 to 3 months later, you got an employer, you got a job. So that's the fast track. Now, a few times I hear the word easy track pop up, and I'm like, marriage? The easy way out? I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's easy.
Let's put ourselves in a pressure cooker and see if we bust.
Oh my goodness.
Now, I looked it up. We're all assuming that Chloe is going down here with her visa ready to stay. And we're finding out that's not the case. So a traveler's visa for Aruba, it's a 90-day visa, which can be extended up to 180 days. But when you come in, and this is for U.S. citizens, so you don't have to apply for the visa. You can come to travel for 90 days. You can then apply to extend it for up to 180, but you don't have to get the visa approved before you travel. Same thing in the U.S. We're used to, for us that are United States citizens, I think a lot of us are used to traveling without having to apply for visas. But that's definitely not the case for a lot of countries, even countries that come here to visit. Their visa application processes. So in Aruba, you have to show that you have a return ticket or further travel. So when you come in, you have to send in the card to stay where you're staying. You have to have like the residence and everything, but you also have to present either your continued travel or return ticket. You have to show them that you're getting out of Aruba.
Interesting.
We've been fooled, folks. This bitch has a ticket back to Boston or somewhere. So when the attorney is saying you would have to go back to Boston and then come back at some time potentially in that 5-month period, that's because he may not know at that point how long she's been there. I don't know what questions he asked beforehand. It may depend on what circumstances they could get that extended for. But she's already got a ticket home. If she came in on a visitor's visa, we know she's not here on a partnership visa. We know she's not here on a work visa.
Yeah,
she just hopped on an airplane round trip. I promise you she has a ticket back.
I would have thought they would have investigated this and done the steps they needed before she even went down if they wanted to do the partnership visa like they have been saying.
If they were serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way the storyline is going with Mama Chloe Michelle coming down and dangling Boston in front of their faces like a cat with catnip. Come on, babies. I will support you. You won't have anything to worry about. You'll have jobs. Johnny's slowing down. He don't want to live this party life anymore. Come on over here. I think we're setting up for a regular good old 90-day fiance. I think it's a setup. It definitely is. It definitely is because she's over there on a traveler's visa. So the attorney asks, have you guys talked about marriage? That's got to be a hard thing to ask people.
Oh, yeah.
That we haven't asked it before. We used to have common law marriage in South Carolina, and we'd have people filing their tax returns as married. I'm like, okay, so you're telling the government you're married, holding yourself out as husband and wife. You know that means you're married, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is an awkward situation. Have you guys talked about it? Hopefully before you filed these tax returns, you did. So, yeah, we've had to have that conversation before many, many times. We got rid of common law marriage here in 2019, though. So it's been a while since we've had to have that little talk. But it's never easy. Always feels kind of weird asking it. Thank God Johnny has some common sense because he said, yeah, it's easy to get marriage, easy to get you over here working. But the hard part would be a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I have experience. I'm 9 years older than you. I've had people come over and it didn't work out. And I'm not comparing you to those people. So don't jump on my ass about that. I'm just letting you know I've been stung in the ass before. And Chloe is saying, well, I lived a very privileged life. I traveled everywhere. I know what I want and it's you. Which when she says that, it didn't really instill in me the confidence that she knows what she wants or that she even understands how life works without a safety net. Which is what she'd have with Johnny.
She sounded very naive when she was talking, honestly. I think she's pretty clueless. He's looking at the reality of their situation, their finances. He knows that he can take care of her, but he can't take care of the lifestyle that she's used to and the things that she wants. She's going to have to make some sacrifices for them to get married. And it's more
He's
than
like,
just...
look, I can pay for your necessities, but I can't pay for your martini nights, which turns around. And then there's also like, are you sure you're ready to get married? Are you ready to make these sacrifices? And she's saying, well, I just think we need to work on ourselves. And I don't see a problem with me going out for a martini night and coming home to you. The problem, Chloe, is you don't have the money for the martini nights.
Right. Well, not only that, would she be okay for him having a martini night and coming home to her?
D, she can't even leave the country and come back to get her work visa.
I mean, she has repeatedly said they can't do distance. There are so many issues in this relationship, and you're saying you can't do distance, but you want to just jump into a marriage. Okay.
Can't do distance. That would be too hard. So let's do the easy thing. Let's do the marriage. She says she's given up everything for Johnny. And he says, I'm making sacrifices too. Like, it's not super easy for me either. I've got somebody stalking me and looking at cameras on me. And she goes, I've given up everything. Well, let's try giving up the camera. Let's try giving up the spy treehouse.
Let's try just trusting the guy.
Give it a shot. It's hard.
It might actually work.
Marriage isn't easy either. And right now, you have a ticket home where if things don't work out, you can jump on that plane and go back. Once you're married, you're going to be even more pissed off when you're having those jealous feelings that you haven't processed. And even more pissed off when you realize that having the title of wife doesn't give you the license to run the man's life. You're marrying this dude
Poor
who
Johnny.
you're like stalking.
Poor Johnny.
He knows though. He can't say, I don't think you're ready for marriage. And he is smart enough not to say that, which is why
Exactly.
he just phrases it. Let's ask a rhetorical question. Do you think you're ready for marriage, Chloe?
Well, she
And
knows her
go.
brain. She knows her brain. That was one of her responses. I know my own brain.
I remember. What the heck was that?
No.
She's frustrated with Johnny because he's questioning whether she's ready to get married. And she's in tune. In her brain upstairs, she knows how she feels. And I'm sitting here like, this is the problem with you not being alive during the last century. Because you wouldn't get more than a feeling. It's more than that little twinkle between your,
The kitty.
I was going to say teats. Why was I going for tingle between the teats? I don't know. It just rolls off the tongue. It's more than a feeling. It's compatibility. It's trust. I wonder how much this is being played up for the cameras. We know we are being yanked around by them at this point. After we go see plate of alcohol immigration attorney, just tuck it away in the closet. Because you know what? Clients will start asking for it if they see it out. They're going to be like, I need one of them too.
And we don't like to share.
No, there's only enough for 2 drunks here.
We need that for when your ass walks out the door.
Cheers. No, we need to celebrate your wins. You know what? We definitely cracked open a few with clients before.
We have.
Sometimes everybody just needs to take a deep breath and be glad we're on the track we're on. Anyway, Johnny and Chloe, I don't have anything else to say about that. It's not a long time. Manon Anthony. I have never been so team Manon as I was. As Anthony starts out this segment with, my last attempts at romance failed, being a mime and going to a goat farm.
Let's see if 3 times is a charm. We'll see if he can get it right.
He
the
knows
third
how
time.
to kill romance if a mime and a goat farm are his first 2 attempts. How do they even have a child? Well, I mean, we kind of find out. So he's got a plan. This one is a little bit more up Minot's alley. He drives up to what looks like a recycled shipping container. Like one that's been recycled into, I don't know, storage unit. That's what it looks like from the outside.
Yeah, I would not have even wanted to go in. I would have been like, are you sure about this? What the fuck are you doing now?
What a trooper. Like, you want to go in. But she was pissed because they were fighting on the way there. Earlier that day, and I know this lit a fire under you too, D.
Oh, yes.
Earlier that day, they went shopping, and Manon saw some pretty shell earrings she liked at a gift shop, and she didn't have her wallet, so she asked Anthony for his, and he said he didn't have his wallet. Okay, cool, fine. We're window shopping. As they walk out, this mofo flashes his damn debit card at her.
Asshole.
Anthony, what the heck? Why? What was the point of that? To prove that you got your way again?
He's got some issues. That just made me so daggone mad. Why would you do that? Like, if you're going to lie because you don't want to spend the money, that's one thing. But then to sit there and actually
through with the damn lie.
Yeah. To actually show her that you have your wallet after all and that you were just being an ass. Like, he wanted her to know. What a jerk.
It was all about, look, I just made you do what I wanted you to do like a marionette. It was gross.
Yeah. It's just like she said, I think it was the last episode, that he just manipulates her to try to get her to do what he wants her to do all the time.
And then apparently rubs it in.
Mm-hmm.
And Manon tells Anthony, look, just communicate your concerns with me. Sit there and say, we don't have the money to spend, or maybe we only buy one of these and not both of those. Don't lie to me and then flash your damn debit card at me like, haha, I won. And don't make me look like a bitch, which, let's be fair, this man is passive aggressive. That little
Mm.
flashy flash, that was passive aggressive. Then he sits there and shows us his ass when he goes, okay, I'll just say, okay, Manon, and beg for forgiveness on my knees. Passive aggression. I'd have been like, fine, get on your knees. Let's see it. Put your money where your mouth is, Anthony. Call him on his shit, Manon. I would be pissed off with this either. I don't think she's looking like a bitch.
Mm-mm.
I get what she's saying because that's the passive aggressive. He's just poking and prodding and poking and prodding. And she's taking as much as she can take, which your tolerance for that bullshit is going to get smaller and smaller. But she looks like the adult here to me.
She's got to be so frustrated at this point. She's done everything that she wanted. She gave up everything in California. She, went to France because he wanted to work on their marriage and her spending more time with their son and stuff like that. And he's just been a jerk the whole time.
And he's not doing anything. She has to feel like, I told you so, Anthony. I told you that if we came to France, you wouldn't be able to have a job. Why didn't you listen? Again, I think this is all fake. I think this is all storyline. Do we really think that somebody finds the goat farm and the miming romantic? Is this Bride of Chucky?
What? Yeah. I mean, we know that she's not. We knew she wasn't going to find it romantic, and we're not even married to her. I don't know what he's thinking.
All right, hold on. So again, they were fighting in the car on the way there. Cut to the quote unquote really nice hotel storage shipping container, convert, whatever it is. She walks right into it. It's bright. So what are your first reactions?
I didn't even think it was a hotel. I was like, what the hell is this?
It was bright. There were lots of colorful lights. There was
Colorful
a stripper pole,
items.
big thing of cherries.
The neon cherries. There was like neon lamp cherries or something sitting on a shelf.
It looked like maybe I was tripping on something. And Manon must feel like she's in a fever dream because she's like, there's no windows. We've been fighting. You're kind of creepy, and there's no windows. This is freaking me out.
And it's also soundproof, which is even more scarier.
Then he laughs. Then he does this creepy laugh. Like, I thought Anthony was about to kill her.
Nobody's going to find the body. That's what I was thinking. They'll never find Manon.
They'll never hear her scream. They won't see it through the window. I was scared, and I think she was too. She goes, okay. Especially when he starts suiting up in his army fatigues. Like, at least he didn't bring, some firearms with him. Because I was getting killer vibes from this place. But I did have to go and look. So as they walk in, there is a rug. It says, Vejan Duo Love Room Marseille. And this hotel actually has 9.5 out of 10 stars.
Really?
Let's take a look if you're joining us on the YouTubes. So the average cost is about $350 a night. So it is a rather nice hotel. They have 2 private pools, and then they have some rooms that have the jacuzzi in them, which is what we saw Anthony and Manon have. It has an excellent location. It's 17 miles from the airport. And here are some pictures. So you see a lot of bright colors. Now, this first one, it's a pool. It's lit up.
It's
the
still in our
surrounding
notes.
area, though.
It's showing our notes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys don't want to see my notes. So here is the hotel listing. So like the background here, the pool looks cool. Does this not look like a zoo? Don't you expect there to be bars in front of it and maybe like animals hanging off of stuff? Yeah, or like sloths, maybe snakes. This looks like a zoo enclosure a little bit. Now, one thing I can say about this next room, there are some bright blue lights. I don't see any jizz stains. Which was one of the things I was thinking. In this love room, we don't know what kind of little squirty squirts have gone on. I said we need to call in what was it called? The room busters. I don't know. I texted it to you earlier, Dee, and you didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, I was like crime scene cleanup people, or as the mob would call them, the cleaners, or
but there was this show
hazmat
in the
team.
90s. Early 2000s where they would go into somebody's room and they'd bring black lights and look for like jizz stains. I was like, I would definitely want one of those in one of these rooms. I don't know, actually. What is all of this stuff on the wall coming down?
Good point.
I don't see any stains on the bed, but like this floor is lit up blue. Also in the bathroom, we've got these blue lights in this one room, and we've got a little mask here, which kind of creepy.
What is going
like
on
the
in
shower.
this hotel?
I do like the shower. It's tile, very nice tile.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this room I thought was really cool. This is a living room. And even though it looks like a storage container from the outside, it looks like maybe there's double stacked storage containers. When I read the reviews, it said that the ceilings looked really high. Actually, this looks like a mirror on the ceiling. Oh, it is a mirror on the ceiling. That's kinky.
It's purple.
But I love it.
That's my favorite color.
But it's like a pretty bright purple room. The lighting is great. It's got silver furniture. It's not purple like Robin Brown does purple on Sister Wives. This is purple done right with a splash of red. My aunt used to always say, you want a little splash of red in each room. Then we see a table, which has it's like a glass table with this intricate flower wooden design underneath. It's very pretty. There's some roses with palm fronds coming out of it. A bunch of LED candles. So fire safety, very important, especially if you're banging around and you accidentally knock one over. We're not going to set the whole place on fire. Couple of champagne glasses, a bottle of bubbly chilling on ice, and some flower petals. So this is a nice little setup there. Now, this room looks really fun. This may have been the one they had because I did notice they had red pillows and black. It was like a red and black design. The ceiling is really cool. It has like these gold squares with red lights lighting up. And I'm just explaining it for those that aren't on YouTube. It has kind of like a Caribbean feel with the bamboo, but it's very nice.
Know. I was with her. I thought the room that they walked into was very dungeon looking. She said a sex dungeon.
Now, this hotel is on the beach, and we see a picture of the beach view here. There's a big Ferris wheel that's lit up. It's a gorgeous view.
But there ain't no damn windows.
Now, look at this room. I know you're going to like this, the purple one.
Oh, that's pretty. I like the purple.
And there's a mirror right behind that bed. And on the ceilings. Wait, this is one of the rooms they were in. There's the stripper pole he was dancing on. That's the stripper pole he danced on. I remember that mirror.
That is. Yeah. And that
is.
pass through on the right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although
the living
like
room area that they walked into, there were cherries there. Yeah. It was like a neon set of cherries.
They changed it out. You know what? I like this silver decor better. Maybe they tried to make it look kinkier for the show because the art looks very modern. Now, yeah, the stripper pole, the mirrors everywhere. That's given we're going to have some kinky sex like Amber level 10 from Sister Wives. 1 to 10 scale. But it looks like there's more modern art than just neon cherries. And another picture of the zoo pool. I thought this piece of art was really neat. So this is also giving me a little bit of trading spaces. There is a green room. This wooden back panel behind the bed, I really like that. It's like a wooden tile. I like that naturalness, especially with the green walls and this like black and brown floor. What I really like is this art installation. It looks like driftwood, and it's almost like an explosion of driftwood. I don't really know how to explain that. What's giving me Trading Spaces vibes is they have glued like bushes all on these walls and around the ceiling, except for a circle where the mirror is. But they have glued bushes on the wall.
It's just too much for me.
It's a little crazy. All right, so yeah, more driftwood stuff. This looks kind of cool. Again, they're gluing bushes on the wall, but it's a bathroom sink. It looks like they have some saunas there. So, I mean, this is gorgeous. There is another pool. It has a glass wall on one side. So I think that would
You
give
can
kind
see
of
through
a
it.
neat Miss Infinity. Yeah. And
Mhm.
there's statues. So that's really nice. Yeah. And this looks like the room that they had. But anyway, I think it's a pretty nice hotel. At first I was thinking crazy sex dungeon, but I think they made some changes to it for the show. Definitely has a sexy, I mean, it's called a love duo or whatever, but the reviews are great. I would stay there. At first I was thinking, no, it's creepy, but apparently it's very clean. And all the lights in there are giving me a blacklight vibe. Now, a few of those rooms I've got questions, but yeah, would you stay there?
Oh, no. Probably. There was a couple of those rooms I thought were interesting.
Dee is a germaphobe, and she says stay. Channel servers, let us know what you think. Would you stay in these rooms? All right. Anything else for... Oh, yeah. How can we forget? Oh, my gosh.
The uniform.
Yeah. I'm not a uniform person. I didn't think that
I am.
Anthony was hot. But my God, when that man put on that uniform and started climbing up that pole and unbuttoning that shirt, I was like, is anybody thirsty? Is it just me? Is it getting hot in here? Is somebody giving Dylan a run for his money?
Well, let's not go that far.
And my God, his eyes are blue. You get it, but no, you get that, girl. You get it.
He wouldn't. I wouldn't tell him to put his clothes back on.
You know what? Fight with him the whole way there, because if you're going to have some damn good makeup sex,
that's the way to do it.
Get it, Tiger. Damn. Where did that come from? I never noticed his eyes were so blue until he took his shirt off.
Even
the mustache looked fine to me. What is going on?
I'm thinking that it's kind of a situation like the mime, that he went and took lessons
the mime
from
did not
somebody.
Do this to me. The mime scared the shit out of me.
You're not letting me finish my sentence. I think that he probably went somewhere and had somebody give him some lessons, because he definitely looked like he knew what he was doing when he was on that pole.
Really did.
So you got to give him A for effort. This one was much better than the other two attempts at romance.
I don't even think I'm mad about the card anymore. My God, that man has some blue eyes. I let him do my nails.
He wanted to do her nails. I think he's not
and
looking
I would have been like, fucking touch my nails. But after that, do them.
Well,
and then he's sitting there going,
then
with the way he said, I'm a nice boy, he kind of like growled it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a nice boy.
He was like, spank me, Manon, spank me.
Go, Manon.
That's the way
That's
he
all
said.
I gotta say.
That's the way he said, nice boy. But what I was getting ready to say is, I think he's missing his calling. He doesn't need to speak French to strip. I think she needs to put him on a pole.
Maybe they're getting their OnlyFans ready.
Good point. That's a good one.
No, I think they're just running their online business. They're doing just fine. They're just having a little fun in France in the sex dungeons. You know, you go to France, you see the dungeons. Now I'm going to have more questions when somebody tells me they went and saw the dungeons.
I know whenever I go to France, that would be exactly why I would go, is to see the sex dungeons in the hotel.
It's the only reason I've ever gone. I've never been to France.
I've never been to France.
When in France?
We're such bitches.
I just thought we were like drunk without drinking.
I know. I feel like it.
The only thing I've had today is this bag of energy sport beans, which are jelly beans with caffeine. You know, for funsies.
I ate one of those Twinkie chocolate bells. I think it's just got me hyped completely up. It's like pure sugar.
Well, let's hype ourselves up for Betty and Dylan.
Yes.
All right. So going back to Gutted, because we kind of just skimmed over it. Johnny and Chloe, maybe not gutted, but I think the attorney telling Johnny and Chloe that it's going to be 6 to 7 months was a gut punch for them. Or sorry, 6 7.
Yeah.
It was 7 to 9 months was a gut punch for them. So maybe not gutted, but gut punch. And then with Manon and Anthony, I thought he was going to gut her when he walked in, and he was like, it's soundproof. There's no windows. I thought she was going to get gutted. I was scared.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then he started dancing, and all the fear was gone. He's got talent. Anthony's got talent. Dylan has talent. Dylan, Petit and Dylan, he was runner-up, I think they said, in Australia's Got Talent. You know who else has talent? Joe, Dylan's mom, she's got talent. Did you see how many balls that woman was juggling around in her hands?
Hey, she can play with some balls.
She had them by the handful.
She had them by the balls.
She had them by the balls. She had Patia by the balls.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just warming up. Patia didn't even score anything. She was all love. Patia's all love.
Yeah,
which means
she's
zero
all
in tennis.
love.
All love.
She's all love.
Her outfit is very cute. I think that's very important when you're playing tennis. If you look cute, you're scoring points with me. The little pink shirt, the black tennis skirt, little headband, very cute.
Just her legs, man.
I know. Tina Turner, watch out.
Her body is just banging. It's just banging.
She was country club ready. And much like I've clocked in a lot of this episode, the robo edit here, I had to call it out. The super obvious Franken edits. This is the beginning of the episode because we went backwards. These editors have sliced and diced what Patia said. If you just close your eyes and listen to her talk, you can hear the edits. So there's one point where she says, and again, they're taking sentences of hers and making them into brand new sentences. I've been in Tasmania for a few weeks now and ... Splice. She's talking in a softer voice. Dylan's mom invited me to go play tennis with her today. ... Splice. Voice is slightly higher. So it's a different time she's talking. And I kind of feel a little nervous about that we have a possible slice, which would be, this would be one of the best ones because you see her talking and then you see them zoom in on her from a closer camera angle. Of course, they have multiple cameras, but it was like the exact same angle. It just was all of a sudden closer. So it could have been a slice from the same film day. Her voice sounded a lot the same between those. So the possible slice was, and I kind of feel a little nervous about ... being with her alone because I still have ... And then the next two splices, you hear like a jarble and a pause. So I still have splice, a lot of issues with splice, how close they are. So that's not one sentence. And you can hear the only one I think that may or may not have been edited was between I kind of feel a little nervous about being with her alone because I still have. And throughout this whole thing, you hear the splices. There is even a point where Joe is talking and they turn around and you see her from the back. So you can't see her lips moving anymore. And she says, that's just screwy. And the voice is different because before she's cutting to where you hear her saying that from behind, she's talking to Patia very soft. She's like, I'm so supportive. When you come back, I'm so supportive. I want nothing but the best for you two. But the editors throw in, they show her from the back so you don't see her lips moving. You don't see this as like not part of the conversation. You just hear her say, that's so screwy, which totally changes the tone of it. Anyway, I digress. TLC editors, you are at it with this. Busting you on this edit. So if we go with the edit, Patia is basically saying that Joe is the reason she's not married to Dylan. Joe has too much of an influence on Dylan and his decisions. I don't believe for 1 second that if Dylan wanted to do something and Joe told him otherwise, he would just crumble and do what she wanted. I feel like she is a sounding board and she is just saying, she's like a mockingbird. She's just saying what Dylan's already saying.
I agree. And having an adult son, having two adult children, neither one of them are going to do a damn. Yeah, neither one of them are going to do a damn thing that I tell them to do. They might take my advice or listen, but if I said, no, you can't do that or don't you dare, they're going to do whatever they want.
Now, decide with Patia on some of this. His mom, Jo, tells Patia there were two things. One was that you hated me, and two was your spending. To which I would respond, what business is it of yours how she spends and whether or not she's paid that back?
I agree. I don't think that it's something that I would have said, but I also, knowing how my kids are, think that it's probably a conversation that maybe he's had with his mom, and that is a definite point for him as to whether or not he will get married or not get married. And she may just be trying to find out or remind her that, that's.
Well, then that's a definite point for Patia that his mom is influencing whether or not they get married and over-inserting herself.
Well, she's over-inserting herself.
A 58-year-old woman. She doesn't need somebody 12 years older than her telling her how to live her life. I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to be responsible for any of her debt.
No, I just looked
He's
at
already said no to selling the house.
Right.
Stay out of it.
I don't think she should have said it, but I felt like it was part of a conversation that we didn't hear. Like maybe she was pointing out, well, have you, stopped spending, have you done anything about your debt? Are you still spending so much? I thought that it was out of context for the conversation that they were having.
But that's the thing. She says your spending is an issue. Pia says, I fixed that. And then her mom goes, you haven't paid off the debt.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah. Regardless, I don't think she should be saying it.
That doesn't mean she's still borrowing. Getting out of debt, especially with interest, is very difficult. Also, where I'm going to have to go team Patia. I think we have different sides on this. Patia is saying it's not fair that he just drops everything to talk to you. And you're calling him 3 times a day. And Joe said to Patia, if you called, wouldn't you want him to drop everything for you? Which my answer would have been no.
Yeah, honestly, I'm on your
side. But hers
with
was yes.
Yeah, I'm on Patia's side with this too. I know what his mom was trying to say. However, I don't think that she got it across. I would not want my kids. Yeah, I would not want my kids to just stop whatever they're doing to take my call. But I think
it seems like a communication issue too. Like Patia is saying, need time with him. This is my fiance, hopefully my husband. We need our time where it's free from Joe inserting herself. If we're out camping, let it go to voicemail. If
that's why
we're in bed together, let it go to voicemail.
That's why there's silent mode.
But it doesn't sound like Dylan is putting on the silent mode.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's putting a lot on his mom, and part of this discussion for sure needs to be with him, Okay, she, just because she's calling doesn't mean he has to answer the phone. So why is it her fault for calling?
Well, the discussion needs to be with him, but this is another part of this whole conversation where I have a different opinion. Patia is telling Joe, I need to set boundaries. Boundaries are something that you set for yourself. I will put up with this much bullshit, and then I will extract myself from the situation. That's my boundary. If you cross it, I retreat.
Right. That's her boundary.
That's her boundary. She cannot set boundaries for Dylan and his mom.
Exactly.
She can express her concerns to Dylan. And maybe this is just an incompatibility, but she can't force him to not pick up the phone in the middle of sex. Just withhold. Stop having sex. Set your boundary.
I don't think.
I think some weird stuff's happened.
No,
Dylan, where you been answering that phone, boy?
I just feel like we're missing something. Like the dots don't connect for me.
I think that phone has been answered in some inappropriate situations.
But that's not his mom's fault. To have the conversation with his mom saying, basically implying that.
What if she knows?
That would
what if
that
she
would be bad
knows that he's masturbating on the phone with her?
Oh no, that's disgusting. No, Lauren, just fucking stop it right now. We're gonna re-record this. I can't believe you said that.
I'm just saying some inappropriate things may have happened.
Your brain. Sometimes I wonder about you.
I mean, there was a part too where Dylan comes to pick up his mom and his fiance, is going to get his ladies. And no, never mind. This is where they were practicing. And Joe said 40 love. And Patia screams, I suck. And I was like, and that's why Dylan likes you.
Go Patia.
Let Mama know. Mama, I suck. So
I just want to clarify what I think. is that
Dee's like, don't
because
listen
you
to Lauren.
you didn't let me finish my sentence. I don't think that her boundaries are an issue with his mom. That's not the person that she should be having the discussion
No.
with.
Right.
And I would not appreciate one bit if my son or daughter's significant other told me that I needed to call my kids less. I'm like, no, they're in the relationship with my kids. You need to have that conversation with them, not me.
Dee, are you feeling triggered? Did you maybe have a son named Dylan who maybe had a girl who maybe told you to butt out?
Yeah, I am not having this conversation on camera at all.
Mama D. Mama D.
Fuck you, fuck
yeah.
everybody. That's my attitude. And so
Dee's like, I'm going to set the boundary right now, and I ain't talking to any of your asses.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe is kicking Patia's ass at tennis. And she is looking cool as a cucumber doing it. She just swatting his balls. She's like, watch him go. Patia looks like she's one of those broken misfit toys on the island of toys.
But she's cute.
She is. She's like the Jack in the Box that pops up with a cute little outfit. And then Patia's like, all right, are you thirsty? Because she's about to tell Joe that she's dehydrated. Like, Joe, you are desperately thirsty for your son to call you 3 times a day. Speaking of triggered, when Patia tells Joe that she is needy, Joe does not take that very well. That strung a chord.
Honestly, don't see calling your kid
3 times a day. And then saying, I'm sorry, this is after the conversation. Okay, but just wait for him to get home to call you back, like not to interrupt what we're doing unless it's an emergency. And
how's she supposed to know that? How's she supposed to know if she's interrupting anything?
Well, Joe goes, I don't know about that, like unless it's an emergency. Well, you text like 911 or something. But she's like, she expects Dylan to just drop what he's doing and have a little chit chat. And apparently Dylan does the same thing to her.
I don't know that she acted like it was an expectation of hers. I think she's just calling her son and he's always answering. Whether or not it's an appropriate time or not an appropriate time
just calling
is on his
end.
I don't know.
That's
I
a
can't.
lot. If they're
I
talking
agree
for
that it's a lot. If she's actually
20 minutes every time, that's an hour a day on the phone.
If she's actually calling 3 times a day, yeah, that's a lot. But it could also be 5-minute conversations like, hey, I'm going here. Do you want me to pick this up or something like that? I don't know.
That can be a text message.
There's a lot of people in her age group that probably do not like to text.
She's Mama C's age.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I know my parents are a little bit older than yours, quite a bit, but neither one of them really. Mom texts more than my dad.
Are like in their late 70s, early 80s, and I get tons of text. Sometimes it's just strings of emojis.
That doesn't mean that
Got like 5 texts yesterday from my mother-in-law.
You're not letting me finish my sentence. All I'm saying is that doesn't mean that she doesn't know how to text. She just prefers old school phone calls. Some people are just like that.
What do you have to say 3 times a day?
I have no idea. I am just saying she's his mom.
Is she like, are you making sure you washed your hands, Dylan? Before you cook that kangaroo, did you wash your hands and get the wallaby poo off?
I still say Patia should just befriend his mom and do a bunch of shit with her, and I think that it won't be an issue.
No, because then
just be friends with
be calling her 3 times a day.
But she might enjoy doing stuff with her.
I stand by Patia, even though Patia apologized. She said she didn't want to live close to Dylan's mom or dad. I'm not against not living right beside my in-laws.
I'm not against Patia. I think she has some really good points. I just think she's having the conversation with the wrong person. That's what my whole point at the end of the day is. It's with the wrong person.
With the exception of Mama needs to pull her nose out of Patia's finances and let her figure that out.
True. I don't believe that that's any of her business.
Now, she does have this conversation with the right person, Dylan, which it's hilarious. He goes to open the door for her, and this would totally be me. Mm-hmm. Just like, let's go to the other side. And Dylan's like, no, we're in Australia. We are in Australia. This side. No, I'm not. And she's like, Oh, there we are. Yes, I
know.
keep forgetting. He's like calling it out. She gets in the car and 100% that would be me.
Yeah, me too.
And Joe even says, we had a ball, which I was like, oh, that's a cute little pun there. I was like, Joe, you had a handful of balls, girl. Tell him.
She's juggling the balls.
And then she was doing this mom thing like, oh, we were both winners. I wasn't kicking your ass. Just take it gracefully. Just be like, yeah, she's right. She didn't even score 1 point.
That was so nice. I would have totally been like, I so kicked her ass. She should have seen me.
Which was, Patia was like, she beat my ass.
I
We
know,
were just
but-
warming up.
Yeah.
So Patia says in the car she thought that Joe was maybe going to like peg her with a ball, which I was a little scared too. She was like, I thought your mom was going to gut me, which is where the gutted part comes from.
I
Just
see. I
kidding.
completely.
Just
Shit.
kidding. She didn't say
Quit
that,
fucking
but,
with me.
but definitely I was getting those vibes off of her. That's her baby. You don't mess with mama's baby. Patia does say that she feels like the issues were resolved, though, which, again, we were getting more steam and hot in the edit than there actually was. She wasn't sitting there and saying this is just screwy. Again, the edit was spicing things up. So I think they were actually having a good tennis game. Patia got that off her chest. And I wonder if the part where she tells Joe, I didn't know if this was a good time to bring this up, happened maybe after the conversation.
It's a possibility.
And then
yeah.
Joe is saying, well, I'm very open, because Patia's feeling better leaving it. And Patia tells Dylan that, you know, I told your mom maybe to call 2 times a week instead of 3 times a day, which is where I'm going to kind of swing back to Dylan's side. 2 times a week. I get you not wanting it all day, every day during totally inappropriate times, but I don't think there's anything wrong with even a daily check-in. I don't do that. I mean, I probably go weeks without talking to my parents sometimes.
I see my parents every weekend. As far as talking to them on the phone, not so much. My sister I talk to just about every day. As
Mhm.
far as my kids, my daughter, she's a texter, so unless she wants something or wants to bitch about something, I never hear from her on the phone. And
if her significant other came up to you and was like, stop calling, you'd be like, no problem. I
yeah.
will stop texting. You just take her phone and block me.
Right.
Thanks.
And really, my son is about the same way. I don't really call him that much. If he calls me, it's usually something related with grandkids. I do, when he has the visitation, FaceTime every night with my grandson. But otherwise,
And I think we both are coming at this from a personal experience, because I have a very persistent mother-in-law who I have had to just not answer. I mean, even recently with my son being diagnosed with diabetes, we're getting a lot of text, and I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely, she's worried. She loves us. She loves her grandson.
Right.
Those aren't the things I'm talking about. It's like when I'm getting multiple messages a day, whether or not I've ordered the rugs for the hallway, which she's been asking for months about. Those kind of text. But I don't mind the updates on my son, and my husband's like, Lauren, just don't answer. You don't have to, because he's kind of like, I need a boundary here. And I'm like, look, if it has to do with Jake and his health,
Right.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, and I wonder if it's possible, and this is just a scenario that I'm throwing out there, because we know that he has properties and rentals and things. If maybe somehow his mom is not helping him somehow in his business, and maybe these phone calls are more business related than personal.
But my husband and his parents have a property
Well,
that
I'm
they
talking
do business out of, and there
I'm
aren't
talking maybe
multiple.
she does some of the accounting, or maybe she does something administrative
Well,
for him, or
my
something like
brother-in-law
that.
does the accounting, and
Yeah. Well,
even
it was,
for the family business, I got the first message about the board trying to vote on some sort of logo
Right.
the other
I'm
day
just
for the
trying
timber
to.
business.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here trying to think of a reason why she might be calling 3 times a day. And of course he does
Stop
not.
trying to excuse it.
No, he says she doesn't call that often.
Maybe it's all for the storyline.
Maybe it is. It would be a point of argument, obviously. Listen
Because
to
they all
us.
seem like very lovely people.
Yeah, I think that it's blown out of proportion.
Now, Dylan likes to call his mom. Joe says sometimes he even calls me at 9 o'clock at night. And Dylan goes, why would you stop the person you love from doing something that makes them happy? And I wrote in all caps, just let me do this one line of coke off the bathroom floor. It makes me happy. So there are sometimes reasons that the person you love, maybe you don't want them to do the things that make them happy. You know, meth mouth isn't great. Probably has very adverse health side effects. It can make your house blow up. You might be happy.
Cheesecake.
I would never stop somebody from, well, except maybe my diabetic son. Yeah. So so they start getting upset though, which is what makes me think maybe this is not the edit, or they're very good actors. Tia's like, babe, you talk to your mom too freaking much. Dylan says, if she dies, how would you feel?
Good point.
And Patia says she's not going to die. And then in my head, I'm thinking, Patia's thinking, Joe's never going to die. One could only hope she would die. In my head, that's what Patia is thinking.
Your head is really
We can't get rid of her.
Your head is really fucked up
Gutted.
today, Lauren.
We are in the gutted.
Your
era.
head's gutted then.
It always is. That's new.
That's a couple of times now that you've said some fucked up shit, Lauren.
I always say messed up stuff. Dylan's like, she's pushing 70. Tia's like, she's kicking my ass on the tennis court. And I've got legs of Tina Turner. And then Dylan said, I think you're worried to me talking to my mom. Why don't you worry about your $20,000 in debt?
Ouch.
Rude. We are just saying things to be hurtful now.
That was a deflection for sure.
And he's smiling like a possum eating shit when he says it. You got me in debt. And then, no, you have lots of spending issues. And then the part where I fell out. Excuse me, Mr. Controlling. Ruh-roh, mommy and daddy are fighting. I don't
This
wanna
is
watch
not gonna
this
go
anymore.
well.
I'm like peeking through my eyes like, oh shit, what's happening?
We love this couple. We don't want to watch them fight.
I think it was real, D.
Yeah, I think that part might have been.
But you know what?
He just
Everybody
kind of
fights. It's fine.
Yeah, he just kind of gets a look, and you can tell that he's starting to get upset. And he had that look.
And he's absolutely right when he goes, this is like the pot calling the kettle black.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to destroy everything. I think you're worried I'm going to abandon you. And I was like, oh my God. Life coaching time. Dylan, get in there and talk to Greta and Matthew.
Please. That
Tap
ship
me in,
sailed.
coach.
That ship has sailed. Forget Greta and Matthew.
And then Patia says, I'm going to abandon you if you don't respect my wishes. And at this point, I'm writing, y'all, stop the talkie-talkie. This isn't going anywhere. Quick, someone jump out of the car, duck and roll. Just get out of this conversation. Press eject.
Abort mission. Stop.
And before we get to the end of this, because nobody is aborting the mission, nobody has decided to do the smart thing and jump out of a car. Patia says he's a controlling narcissist. Y'all, this is just...
I think that's another pot calling the kettle black
comment. Making me nervous. Y'all are making me nervous. See, I have to make inappropriate jokes because
some of them you've gone
this couple is making me nervous. Manon and Anthony, I'm not nervous. They're just playing crazy sexy games in France. Chloe and Johnny, I mean, as long as Johnny is there to protect her from harming herself on a cactus, I think we're fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew, that ship has sailed. That ship has sunk. It's got
done.
a hole in it, and Chloe's just sitting there watching it sink from her treehouse. This took a left turn. But Dylan, he says, pick your battles, which, that's wise.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Is this really what you want to fight over? Is it a deal breaker? And you live with mom calling 3 times a day. Also, one theme that we see throughout this show is the difficulty of bringing 2 different people together in a marriage or in a relationship. This is not the only couple where we're hearing he wants to do it his way. It's her way or the highway. We're seeing this with Manon and Anthony. We're seeing this with Chloe and her lifestyle. We're seeing this with Greta and Matthew, where Matthew's just living his life, thinking about his house and 3 kids, although you do see him kind of like holding like a piece of paper. We're seeing this throughout the season. And I think this is something that's common with all couples. This is part of marriage. It's part of integrating two lives. It's part of learning how to compromise. And each of you give some and let things go, picking your battles. And Dylan needs to pick his battles too. Maybe say, look, Patia, we're going to go on a date and we're going to have some time just us and my phone will be off. We're going to put phones in a basket here. Neither of us will have our phones. We're going to focus on each other for this 3 hours. And then he takes her to the sex dungeon and they live happily ever after. See, we fixed it.
Easy peasy. Just listen to us.
Have you seen those lemon ads that keep popping up on my Facebook? I don't want to click it, but they just keep popping up. I don't know. There's one with a raspberry. I thought it was an ad for raspberries. I was like, why are these shapes so weird? And my friend said it's a vagina. Anyway, I didn't take my medicine today. This might be why I'm.
Well, I wish you had told me that an hour ago.
All right, channel surfers. Thanks for listening to our crazy 90 Day the Other Way adventure. We'll see you next week with Sister Wives. And that's next Monday. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back with 90 Day the Other Way. Looks like we got some good stuff coming up. Especially the end of this episode where Patia says, there's something I need to talk to Dylan about, and it might make things worse. Hold my beer.
Watch this.
All right, channel surfers. We love you. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Let's ride.